I'm very, very open. As Dr. Drew says, I overshare too much, and that's like I think it's a problem, but I think it's why I've like it's like my job. You know what I mean? It's like Anna Nicole had a great little quote on her, really great Anna Nicole on her amazing iconic reality show, where a woman comes up to her while she's eating and says, "Hey, I think they're like exploiting you." And I was like, "Well, that's okay as long as they're paying me." And while that may sound like soul sucking, like a soul sucking answer, like I relate to that a lot because I have a really good life. I get to do really fun things, like make my music and stuff because of the job that I have. Now a lot of people will argue maybe it's not great for my mental health, and I agree to a certain degree, to a certain extent. Because yeah, I didn't have control of my mental health until like it was not too late, but until I hit rock bottom last year, to a certain extent. Because yeah, I didn't have control of my mental health until like it was not too late, but until I hit rock bottom last year. Not a lot of people think that, but still, yesterday was rock bottom, and I don't know if it was rock bottom. It was awful. Like my behavior at the end was horrible. Like this isn't something new. This is something that I struggle with. Like it's why, you know, Ethan made a jab at me a couple frenemies ago, a month ago, saying like, you know, now I see why you can't maintain relationships, and like that hurt a lot because it's true. You know what I mean? Like yeah, like it is a reason I can't maintain friendships, and like, you know, I'm fortunate I have. You know, there are some long-term friends of mine, like my friend Jeff, my friend Shane, you know, my friend Angel. Like there haven't really been evil the way I with my words, the way I am to some people, and like it's really bad. It's really like I really can't control it. Once I like there's an not to use the word lightly, but there really is a trigger or a switch in my mind that once it's switched, it's like it's literally like a different person. I'm not trying to say I have multiple personalities or something like that. I'm just saying like it's literally like a different person where like I no longer can control it. He once just put it in the title, and in my heart of hearts, I truly believe he pushes me to get a reaction. And normally I'm fine with it. When you have a reputation like mine on the internet, like that's what it is, right? Like this is my MO. This is on brand for my character. And I don't mind that. If people want to hate me for like what they see on the internet, that's fine. But it really triggers me more when I feel like my character is up for judgment. Jokes. But it was really, really hard. It was really hard for me and my boyfriend. Like it's hard too because like obviously the H3Podcast is my boyfriend's family, and like it's hard. So, but from day one, they talked so much about us without my knowledge, consent, or anything. They never once texted me, DM'd me. I was part of their show, and then just never heard from them again once quarantine hit. I believe they communicated with Moses. I know they communicated with Moses. Moses shares a lot of communication with me from them. But, like, they never once communicated with me. But the show, and honestly, I don't mind it. I like just sitting in as a talent. But whatever he presents to Dr. Drew, to you guys, whatever he has his researchers do, it's all in favor of him. Always. When he said, Hila finds it annoying that you keep talking about her and saying that she hates you, and finds it, well, and that I will say, like, maybe I said casually, like, oh, she hates me, which is, again, it's like, I said we've been awkward. I feel like I've always been, I'm awkward with everybody, and I feel like in times, like, at the beginning we were awkward. I still sometimes feel awkward with Ethan. You know what I mean? It's I get more comfortable, obviously, the more you get to know someone and hang out, but it's awkward, and maybe it is more on me. But again, going back to the original episodes H3 did on me and my relationship back in April, May, Ethan says, Hila, is Trisha allowed in the house? And she goes, absolutely not. They both said they don't approve. They don't like the relationship. They say it's joking.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
right.
But, like, you can't talk about me and my relationship and say it's jokes. But then if I say, oh, Hila hates me, which is clearly, or maybe not clearly, but it really is a joke. Because off camera, I'm super nice and polite. I'm in their house. And how awkward is that? To hear someone on a podcast be like, she's not welcome in our house. From the beginning, my first appearance in the H3, they're like, you'll never be able to come to our house. You're never going to meet our son. And then Hila, when we started dating, like, he's like, is she allowed at our house? She goes, absolutely not. Like, it's awkward for me to be there. It's so awkward every time I come into the house because I will always have that in my mind. Jokes or not, like, and then welcoming. Never once have I used the words that Hila was rude. Never. And the only reason she was brought up this podcast is because Ethan brought her up. He said her name minutes before I said it. And I was going off what he said. He goes, Hila watched the last episode and was like, why didn't no one tell her there was whatever I had on my lips, powdered sugar or whatever on my lips? And I was like, I don't know, I said something blah blah, and then I was like, oh, we should have Hila like sit in or be a guest because everyone thinks I hate her, or and vice versa.
Maybe Hila thinks you're gross.
Comments, like, no wonder Hila doesn't like Trisha, and I don't.
Maybe you triggered Hila. You ever think of that? Maybe she don't like you. Maybe she thinks you're gross.
Yeah, like she did mention, like stuff to Moses about stuff I said on the podcast, which I'm like, she should talk to me directly. And then now I hear from Ethan, oh, Hila finds it annoying that you talk about her and say she's rude. So now I'm like, okay, now there's two sources where I feel like I'm the problem. And I just thought she should talk to me directly, right? Like, when my sister and Moses had like a thing, it wasn't a big thing, but like they had something between them that was an irritation. And I told Moses, you gotta talk to my sister, and vice versa. And they did. They talked it out, and it was totally fine. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know the discussion. They talked in person.
What?
It would have been fine, but they talked in person, and it's fine. And now we have every family Sundays together still.
What?
And that's just what happens when I want, like, obviously it's like quarantine and COVID right now, and they're very paranoid about having people in their house. I've gotten tested every week for them, like for the podcast, and because they're very overtly, in my opinion, paranoid about it. But it's fine. Like, it's totally fine.
It's a pandemic.
As, you need to be, like, whatever your comfortability is fine with me. That's why I get tested for them. But like I've said repeatedly, like, I want to hang out with them. Like, we, like, from the beginning, I mean, I was.
It's a pandemic. And somebody with a new son, you think would be paranoid that you're going to give their child a contractable infection that is unknown about the future. So I would be paranoid too. Trying
to set something up with Ethan and Hila to like hang out, and then we try to do like a group setting thing with like mutual friends. Like I really want to be a part of their family, and I want to all like hang out. And that was a big appeal. I'm not gonna lie. When
they don't like you though. They don't like you. Just because you're dating Hila's brother doesn't mean that they're inclined to have to like you. That doesn't make any sense.
I first met Moses is that he was a referral from Ethan and Hila, because I was like, okay, that's someone they can vouch for. They talked him up, and rightfully so. My boyfriend's amazing. Like, he has an amazing job. He's an amazing person. He's calm. Like, he's really, really amazing. And so I was like, but a lot of that appeal was like, okay, he's a referral from them.
He'd have to be amazing to get along with you.
And like, I still do, and I think that's what like hurts the most, because like, I'm not going to do a show with someone I actually dislike. I think we disagree on so many things, and I think, again, that's what makes the show really cool and really fun. I don't know the word, but they're very, like, in my heart, I do feel like they're close-minded. Not with, like, they're, like, not with, like, OnlyFans and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But, like, close-minded in the sense that they really, truly believe, like, you can just see in the politics, right, of them, which is, I'm glad we don't talk about it on front of me, but they're very like, Republicans are evil, like religion is evil, that like you're all wrong. Like, he gets so mad, right, about like conservatives and the right side and stuff, and it's like, I get having your political beliefs, but when you think people are dumb that disagree with you, like that's it's the mentality of like, they just think that everything they do is right and they're always in the right? And I do believe that with Ethan a lot, that he just really thinks he's always in the right. And
do you
that's,
not
like,
think that?
because
You block people who don't agree with you.
Because he's not. He's not always in the right point. And once that there's a little bit of unveil, a little bit of lift on the curtain that shows them to be not perfect. Like the episode where we talked about my boyfriend's DMs to another girl, and the comments came for Ethan and Hila, because Hila said something along the lines of, those were private DMs, those were never meant for you to be seen. And everyone's like, what the, like, asking for sympathy or feel bad for me, because, like, I know who I am online. I know I come for people over silly drama and stuff like that. So it's not, poor me. Like, it's not making excuses for my behavior. It's just like, now it's like, I hear voices, and like, that's what an actual crazy person hears, and those are the symptoms. And I don't know who's on the podcast. I decided to.
I hear voices. My own voices. I talk to myself all the time. There's nothing wrong with that.
Privately, and he's like, I don't know, you have that. He's like, get a second opinion, you know. But he's a really good, like, listener, and very, like, sympathetic to that. And I think only people who also struggle with any sort of, like, depression, anxiety, mental health issue, which is a lot of people, I think probably like 90%, maybe more of the world has some sort of mental disorder. Again, anxiety, depression included, but just other stuff. And my boyfriend doesn't really struggle with stuff like that. And so it's kind of hard for him to, like, relate on that level. So when I do have someone that relates like that in my life, like, it feels good, you know? And again, I don't know what I should and shouldn't say, but I'm just trying to be like, this is my channel, and it's, like, unedited, and I can say whatever I want on this channel. It's like, I have
Same.
talked with Hila since the episode. I've talked with Ethan since the episode, and you know, that's the best peace I can make with my mind, is just trying to clear. It's hard, just trying to clear the air the best we can for the sake of really Moses. At the end of the day, that's his family. I can walk away from the show, or they can fire me, or whatever, or end the show, whatever. But that's his family, and whether he continues to work with them, like, I hope, and I want them to.
I doubt it's over. She'll be back next week. She'll be back for a holiday edition.
And obviously that's the thing, but like, that's family too. Like, you're not just gonna, like, leave family. Like, I think, like, I wanted to do it more for his sake, and again, that's, like, why I was hysterical, because I was like, oh, so not only did I ruin this really good opportunity for myself, this podcast, but also I ruined his relationship, working and family relationship with them. And I just was like, shit, like, that was like, man, then I became what I feared, which is literally ruining people's lives. And that's just it. And again, I don't ask for sympathy. I was, like, horrible, like, when like, rightfully so. I think, like, I believe.
Seeing how she was close up, I'll be close up too. I just don't have sympathy with that. I think that she's just attention seeking, and she'll be back to Frenemies, the H3 podcast, probably before the year is out. She's probably on a contract, and we'll get that later, I'm sure. TGIF, you guys. Have a good Friday, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.